Hey, this is Eric McCoy again, and this is going to be the second segment of illegal and unethical practices in the substance abuse industry. And I want to introduce you to Amy. Amy has joined me today because we're going to talk about a specific topic that she has a little bit of knowledge in, and I'm going to share a little bit about some of the information that I have. And we're going to talk about the urinalysis, the drug testing system that's going on in this industry. It is devastating, and I think this is actually very important for people to understand because of how much this is affecting our medical system, affecting our premiums. Everything's going up. And so I wanted to actually start out by telling you a little bit about some experience that I had. My stepson had entered a rehabilitation center. I think he was in there a little over a year ago. And we had gotten an EOB in the mail that the lab was billing out 21, what was it, $20,034.72. And I printed out a lot of these claims, and so I wanted to actually tell you a little bit about. I'm actually going to throw the name of this place out there. It's actually UTC Lab LLC, and I wanted to try to show this to you. See if I can actually let me get this. If you can see it there, $20,034.72, and that's for one drug test. One drug test, $20,034.72. Now, of course, the insurance companies did not pay that entire balance, but I calculated out with his tests that he had taken 9 tests, and they had basically received about $14,000. I recently called. I called LabCorp earlier today, and I wanted to find out what they tested. And I found out that a 12-panel drug test sent to the lab costs $350. And so I'm trying to figure out exactly how they're able to bill $20 plus $1,000. So I wanted to actually bring you to Amy for a second, and I wanted her to tell you a little bit about her story and her experience, and I think this really plays into this and how difficult this is and how unethical, and potentially I think it should be illegal for places to be able to bill this much, because like I said, it's really hurting. It's really hurting, our insurance policies. Our premiums go up. So I want to introduce you to Amy. This is Amy, and I want you to tell us, if you could, a little bit about your experience.
All right. I was ordered to a rehab facility for a year. I ended up staying 10 months. And the rehab charged their, costs that it cost them to treat me and feed me and house me and stuff. And then there was a whole nother side of the billing that was urinary analyses, or UAs. It took a little bit of time to get documentation showing that the facility I went to used 4 different labs, one of which charged $20,000. My insurance did pay every single bit of that every time I took a UA. I took UAs 3, and if I went home for the weekend, 4 times a week. So that's $60,000 to $80,000 a week, and my insurance company paid. The $20,000 costing lab was only used for a month. They used other labs that cost $9,600, which is less than half, but still outrageous. By the end of my stay, after 10 months, they had gotten to a lab that cost $1,200. So what the difference in the services that these labs were providing, I can't tell what would make the difference between a $1,200 one and a $20,000 one. It's interesting. I don't know why the insurance company did this, but we were sent checks. You want to hear this?
Absolutely.
Okay. We were sent checks that we were supposed to sign over to the labs that had done these tests. But the checks were written to my family. So if we wanted to, we could just go to the bank and cash them. And, obviously that would be illegal, but, it was just a really weird situation. So by the end of 10 months, actually after 6 months, my wife had $500,000 worth of lab costs, checks, a stack of checks. And they were about to expire because the 6-month period had come. So she had to call the labs and say, what do you want me to do with this $500,000? They responded immediately and said, send them right down. Then promptly responded with, you're delinquent, so get them in a hurry, and just silly stuff. By the end of my 10 months, it was $800,000 between 4 different labs, $800,000. That's beyond what Anthem, Blue Cross, and eventually Blue Shield paid for my treatment. Outrageous.
So you received about $800,000 from the
Checks.
labs. And yeah, she actually had pulled up a lot of this stuff, and so we actually have documentation on a lot of these, a lot of the checks and information that was sent. And this is crazy. This is crazy, And what's really sad is I think all of us really need to keep in mind that we need to do everything we can to stay ethical. The one thing that I wanted to talk about real quick, and I know some people are going to have disputes on this stuff, and one of the things that a lot of rehabs are doing is they are testing not only for all of the substances, illicit substances, that they might use to get high, but some rehab facilities are testing for all the medications that everybody would potentially be on. They want to, quote unquote, make sure that they are taking these medications, that they're not taking other people's medications. And I think that's a problem because it really shows the facilities are not diligent in doing what they need to do to make sure that the individuals are taking their medications, not cheeking the medications, not slipping them into their pocket. There's a lot of rehab facilities out there that are not very meticulous on doing this kind of stuff and watching and paying attention and observing. And I think that comes down to their fault. And I don't honestly think that we need to sit there, we need to bill out all of this money to these insurance companies because of, them not doing, the right job or whatever it is it's supposed to be doing. And so we wanted to kind of get together and we kind of wanted to explore this concept of the, all of the stuff that's going on with the lab. There's one of the things that we're seeing in this industry is insurance companies are not paying very well anymore. And there's, insurance companies out there that are literally paying $150 a day for a detox facility. It's ridiculous. And it's shutting a lot of places down. When we can actually look at, okay, these places are charging $20,000 a test for 9 tests, and they're getting $14,000, or you're getting, over whatever period, you're getting $800,000.
10 months.
10 months getting $800,000. This is ultimately also hurting the rehab industry. Like I said, a lot of places are getting shut down, and unfortunately a lot of good places are getting shut down because the insurance companies are not paying what they, what the rehab facilities need to get paid to be able to stay up and operate. If you're looking at a 6-bed facility and you're getting $150 a day, and the overhead is, $30,000 every 2 weeks, which is typically what, and majority of that's payroll and stuff, they're not going to make the money. They're not going to be able to pay the bills, and they're going to get shut down. And it's very sad. I want to see, again, kind of as I pointed out yesterday, I want to see good facilities that can stay in business. I kind of pointed out a lot of people in this industry are leaving. The good people are leaving the industry because they're tired of seeing all of this stuff. And again, that's the people that we need to stay in the industry. So I wanted to talk briefly about this. I think this is very, very interesting. we are starting to see, you know, some of these labs getting shut down. I think I can't even understand honestly how the insurance company would even pay $20,000 for a test. You know, it kind of baffles me on how that's something that, you know, I mean, we talk about, yeah, it needs to be medically, you know, medically necessary. Years ago when I started in this industry, everything was done by point of care cups. You know, we had, you know, 12 panel cups, 14 panel cups, and we would test on those. Anybody that came up positive, then we would send it to the lab. And I kind of honestly think in some cases, why don't we go back to that a little bit? Do you have anything else that you want to say?
I just would like to add that the reason I was willing to join you today and share my experience is because the rehab industry is essential. You know, it's been essential for a long time, but with the epidemic affecting more and more people, it's a shame to think that the industry would get such a bad name. And people are finding out when there are good facilities around who are getting smeared also, and they shouldn't be. So I wanted to, you know, bring up that there are facilities that are doing this bad stuff, but there's also facilities that are really saving people's lives.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. And I do think that's very important. So that's kind of basically all I wanted to say on this. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about different topics in, you know, in the industry and what's going on. And I'm doing kind of a lot of work on figuring out ways to get all of this information out there. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.